Hey everyone, welcome back to the Growin Up Podcast. We're your hosts. My name is Amber,
And my name's Nevaeh.
and we are here with episode 6.
Yeah.
Episode 5?
Yeah.
Episode 6. If this is your first time listening, thanks for taking the time to stop by, and we hope you enjoy this podcast. We have some interesting topics that we're going to talk about this week, but if you've been here before, then thank you for coming back to listen this week.
Yeah, for joining the conversation with us. So yeah. I feel like we've been we're getting there. We're getting there. I hope people are really like seeing that too. And I don't know. I think we just keep on rolling from here.
Yeah, consistency. We've been showing up, so we hope
But
it's
also
meaningful.
I think, this is our big hump over like an event. So like if y'all missed last week's video, Amber was going I think you mentioned it, right? That you were going to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like last time something happened and then like we just stopped. So like I'm glad that we conquered that hump of like
True.
and then came back and like planned around it. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So with that being said, we like to start every single podcast off with what we learned over the past week. So I'm losing track of who went first. So
I can go.
maybe you can
I
take
can
it
go.
away.
I'm pretty excited for my TikTok almost came on. I was pretty excited for this one because I was just telling Amber before this podcast that every single time I learn something or I do something, I usually call Amber. So like I realized that that's my reason for not like every single time I already tell you, you know what I mean? So I kind of got to get in the habit of like not calling Amber every single time I learn or discover something. So I'm excited for this one. So what I learned, but also I would say learning, and I specifically chose this because I think it goes to show a lot of like how you can take from what other people like recommend and implement it to your own life. So I started using the reminders app. So I learned how to use that. That's one. The second thing is I switched my MCAT studying plan and like everything, and I put it into Notion, and I figured out like how other people are like framing their MCAT studying thing through Notion. So I've been playing around with that. I've learned how to use the widgets on there. So yeah,
Ooh.
I know it's definitely been fun. And like now that my laptop is like more like personal, versus like school, kind of
Yeah.
like fixed it up and made it look like more productive, like something I would want to grab. So yeah, that's kind of been my mojo. We just started yesterday, so we'll come back next week and tell you if it was just learning or learned.
True. You never know if you like something until you try.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And with the reminders, I did the chores. So now my husband's not very happy with me right now, but we're getting in the mojo. Like our living room looks spotless.
That's funny. Did you watch any YouTube videos to like learn more about it, or did you
Yeah,
just?
I did that. And then I also like I'm not a huge what is that called? Why am I blanking on the name? Red something. No, not red. Reddit. Yes. I'm not
Yeah.
a huge Reddit person, but like I got super into like MCAT studying for like
Oh,
on
that's good.
Reddit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like people were sharing all of like their resources that they did for free, and like so that was cool to dive down
Yeah.
that rabbit hole.
I mean, like, I've never really been a big fan of Reddit either, but within the past year, I've definitely like started using like Reddit almost daily for random ass things that I think about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely recommend Reddit for those who have not looked into it yet, because there is so many things in all facets of life like you can find on
Exactly.
Reddit.
Yeah. And that's funny because now that you say that, you always like it's funny because you're not going to Reddit for like a direct answer, like to a specific answer, but like more like emotion and feeling. So sometimes I feel like emotionally validated when I'm on Reddit. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
me
right. Didn't
too.
you say you used that Reddit when you found that bird nest on your door?
Yes, I did. Yeah. Yeah. And like people were like saying like what they did and how it ended up because I didn't know if I should keep the baby birds on my door reef. And I live in an apartment with one door in and out. It was horrible.
Yeah. See,
Anyways, yeah, that's what I learned this week.
that's awesome. That's
Learn.
cool. That's I'm glad that you're using those tools
Yeah,
because again, it is a tool. Like that's ultimately what it is, like it may work, it may not, but it
yeah.
means that you're trying.
Yeah, and I'm definitely trying to take it at a lighter step because I feel like every single time I always like implemented something, I like was like, okay, I got to get every single thing done. But like if I can't get it done, like I give myself grace. Like at least I did one of the things that I said I was gonna
Yeah.
do done. So
Yeah.
we'll see. New 2025 coming up.
That's awesome.
Where did you learn, Amber?
So this week, my biggest learning thing was, I guess aside from like
You
learning
did a
how to
lot of
edit,
learning.
I true. I went to Vegas and I did a lot of learning there, and I feel like that could take up its own whole episode. But I think kind of in the realm, one thing that I had learned was how to create shorts with AI. I think just in general, like using AI for our workflow, because there are a lot of some of the tools that we use that are online, they have like AI components to it. And usually it's like beta or like try this new. So
Yeah.
it's just a matter of like trying it out. And um, it was just amazing to me to see how much and how far AI has gone to help with content creation
Yeah,
and
that's true.
further than just words, videos and pictures and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
um unfortunately I didn't I didn't finish any shorts, but I learned how to do it. So one
First
step
step.
closer. Yeah.
That's
No,
funny.
yeah, it was really cool. It took some time, and I understand why because I'm a little bit more familiar with what goes on the back end, but I could definitely see it improving the efficiency of a workflow for some people who probably had taken hours on stuff like making a short video
Yeah.
before there was even AI. So
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
I see where it could go. So that was pretty cool.
Okay, two things. First thing, you went to this whole week convention with all these discussions, and the one thing you're gonna bring up is the most recent thing that was not at the convention. That's
Well,
hilarious.
yeah, I feel like I could get really nerdy with a lot of the stuff at the convention, but that
That's
was
true.
something that was like useful outside of work and for us. So that was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It got you turned like at least I feel like that had to stem from those discussions. Like, hey, like if they're doing all this stuff, they gotta
Yeah.
replace them, make something like that.
No, for sure. So for those who don't know, last week I attended a tech convention, a cloud computing convention in Las Vegas, and it was a week long, so 5 days. Um, and my schedule was packed from the morning till the night, literally till the night. So there was a lot of things that I had learned there, and there was a lot of people that I had met, and it was very inspiring. I would say that was my word is how I describe the convention. My time at the convention was just inspiring. Like I learned so many things that we're capable of doing with technology,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of things for work that I took away too, like culture wise, like how to
Hmm.
build like a tech team, how to get more results from in technology and stuff like that I really wanted to learn. But the biggest thing was the ability to create things and just
Yeah.
the technology that these companies put at the hands of us. Like literally all you
Hmm.
need is a mouse, a keyboard, and a computer. Like, and
Yeah.
you're able to create the craziest things out there. So
Dang.
yeah.
That's I think I would be very overstimulated
Yeah.
like by all of the things that were there. And I think so if you don't follow us on Instagram, you probably should so you can stay up to date with, new episodes and whatnot. But we did share a couple of Amber's like TikToks that she covered over her time in Las Vegas, and like even looking like half of the time I was like, dang, this part it looks like a party in there. But also like Amber was sending me photos on the side, and it's just crazy to like it seems like they made different universes inside of this place, and
They did.
that's pretty cool. And I bet the
Yeah.
energy bill was crazy.
Right. I think the craziest thing too was that like the Wi-Fi was everywhere. So like the conference spread amongst like five different hotels or five different casino hotel venues, whatever you want to call it. And everywhere that you walk, they had offered Wi-Fi. And if you actually looked at all the outlets, like every couple of feet away from each other, there was like routers. So like they had everything covered.
Wow.
Yeah. There was
That's
so many people on
crazy.
computers too. Yeah. There was like 65,000 plus people there.
Dang. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was insane. It was definitely, like you said, like I was overstimulated. I took on too much in the first 2 days, and by day 3, I was like, "No, I can't. I gotta like slow down." So I like
Yeah.
kind of took like a half day, went walking around to go just do something more casual, and then I like got back into it Thursday and Friday. But definitely some lessons learned on if I were to go back, which I would go back.
Yeah.
I met some people and they were like, "This is my 7th year here," or I was sitting at a coffee like bar place, and these guys were kind of laughing at me because they were like, "Oh, it's your first year. You look
Oh.
tired." Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, it's definitely my first year."
Yeah. That's exciting though. Oh, I'm glad you had fun. It looked fun.
Yeah,
I wish I was
yeah.
there.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing too, like with this tech conference, was just a push in AI or artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Like that's what a lot of people are wanting to learn and wanting to like invest in and build with. So that was like a
Yeah.
majority of the talks there. I had actually met this guy at one of the happy hour events, and I thought I was just going up to some random Joe Schmo that looked like he needed someone to talk to. But it turns out that he was a founder of a startup that IBM had invested in. And I was like, wow. And it was AI based.
Yeah.
So he was like kind of giving me his little elevator pitch. And I was like, wow, like he had literally started making his company in January and IBM invested in him within
Dang.
like 7 months. And I was like, that's
That's
crazy.
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you see any robots?
There was robots, but I didn't make it there.
Come on,
Yeah,
Amber.
well, I did well, like, if you're talking, like, human-shaped robots, yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't make it to that one. But there was a lot of, like, machine robots that I seen.
Yeah.
So, if you see my TikTok, there was a little short clip of, like, drawing, so take a picture of someone, then it would draw it for you.
Yeah.
I seen some robots having to, like, do a supply chain, so they were kinda showing how they can, improve the process for, like, warehouse processing and stuff like that.
That's so scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's scary, Amber. Was there a lot of people surrounding the human robot? Like, was
There
that
was.
poppin'?
Yeah, it was in a, yeah, I didn't really explore that area that much, but people
Amber's
were
all
very I'm pretty sure
scared.
you can find, videos on TikTok, though.
I'm gonna go actually look just to see because I wanna see what you missed out on. You could have seen, like,
Yeah,
the future.
true.
I feel like you did see the future. That's
I
also kinda
did.
scary, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's kind of what I, like, think about it as well, because like, in my job too as well, artificial intelligence is a huge, like, concept right now, and
Mhm.
I constantly, like, I'm thinking of ways that I can use because I actually know how to make a AI chatbot. Like, that was one of the first, projects that I was a part of when I started my job as a cloud engineer was there was a, basically, they needed a chatbot created so that it could help, call center people with answering questions. So, like, say
Mm.
someone has a issue with their bill, they used to have to go through a bunch of documents to, like, try to find
Oh,
the answer.
really?
But now with the chatbot that we created, it learns from the data that's already collected, those documents that they already have in that data set,
Yeah.
and it's able to just give you it's like talking to ChatGPT. So you're like, "Hey, my customer's having a problem with this and this and this. What could it be?" And then the chatbot will give them an answer based
Oh,
off of their own documentation.
dang.
Yeah. So, like, with that, there was like, you can do so much. Like, the
Yeah.
the biggest thing is having data because artificial intelligence is actually learned. So AI actually learns off of data sets. So most of the general like the AI that people know of like ChatGPT, Copilot, things like that that a lot
Yeah.
of people have used online, that data is the internet. So that's getting all of its data off of the internet
Oh.
already. So that's why those models are so good. But when you're getting precise for like I said at my work, you're feeding it your own data.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
it's learning from that data. So it's really so all these people who are creating new things, yes, they can use the data set like the internet already, but most people want to train off of their own data, but it's very
Yeah.
hard to find good data.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's funny because I think it was last month, but there was an article about how uh AI was like quote unquote faster at like diagnoses compared to like a physician. And like I was like, okay, like that's crazy. Well, first of all, lots of opinions there, but I think the biggest thing was that then they must be getting that from their medical records. Then, like
Yeah.
using other people's cases. Dang.
Yeah. So the general models, like I said, like those larger models like ChatGPT and stuff, those are trained to not give out personal identification like PII information, and like health stuff. It's not allowed to give out that kind of information.
Yeah.
But there are people creating AI stuff for medical research like that. Um,
Hmm.
so that's how, so yes. But the hard thing is like a lot of obviously hospitals are regulated.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of laws that go around that. So right now it's very hard to be able to feed your data into this random AI bot that someone created, because they
Yeah.
don't trust it yet. There's still that trust that needs to be built with AI. So it's very
Yeah.
hard for them to get their hands on data like that. So big companies like AWS try to partner with companies like health companies or even like mine because we're regulated as well. So
Mm,
when
yeah.
they get their hands on that data, that's when they're like, that's what everyone is. That's why data is so
That's
expensive.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why people like sell that, and that
That's
it has
interesting
its own
because now
market.
that you say that, because like I work in research, so like, I use a lot of data, and but I guess more of like a personal terms because like I collect it, and so
Yeah.
that's kind of funny because when I got into clinical research, we then had to like get lawyers involved, and like I
Yes.
came from a like department that didn't have to do that because we're collecting it for ourselves and only using it for ourselves. We're not
Hmm.
like sharing it with other people, but with clinical like trials and whatnot, like a lot of the times our studies are multi-site, so meaning that either there's a big head honcho hospital company that's paying for it and like managing us to do
Yeah.
these studies, or vice versa.
Hmm.
Anyways, but that's crazy because I think like that's so scary.
Yeah. No,
I
it
am
can
part
be.
of the system. I'm just kidding.
That's why when you were doing your research for your thesis, I was so excited because I was in my little AI chatbot mode at that moment. But I was like, you have data, like, like
Yeah.
if I don't know what the legalities are around like research data,
Yeah.
but like if you finished your study, like I could use that data and use it in AI in some way to like figure out something that you want to figure out. Like,
Yeah.
you know
That's
what I mean?
crazy.
Yeah.
That's yeah. Ugh. Well, have you watched that? I don't. I think I asked you the other day, but the Subservient on Netflix. It has like Megan Fox in it.
No, I have not. I
Well,
looked. I did not watch that, but
why you didn't like it? What you didn't?
no, I didn't. I think I was waiting.
Uh, but like when I watched that, that also kind of like I feel like when I used to watch like robot movies, like I don't know, I Robot.
That was her favorite
And that
movie
used to
when
be
she
my
was young.
favorite. Like when I used to watch iRobot, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, what the heck? Like, how are they gonna make these little electronic things? But like now seeing like that movie, which is like very similar to like it's still a robot, you know what I mean? It's still
Yeah.
like but it's weird that like now knowing how close that is, like how like there's a possibility in reach where like that could be the norm.
Yeah.
So you have to watch it. You have to watch it.
For sure. I think yeah. Well, I mean, AI is literally just like humans. Like AI is meant to do things that human intelligent like that is done by humans, but it's learned.
Yeah.
So there's actually like our brains, right? We have like neural networks. It's the same
Yeah.
thing with AI. Like
Yeah.
they're constantly like making connections and like word to word. So it's mostly like language based, so language learned. So
Yeah.
like it associates with like book with student. And so like those words are like closer to each other in the neural network, I guess you can say, and
Yeah.
learned. And then that's how it pieces things together is basically just by learning and connecting more words that it learns.
Yeah. Well, when I was like in the deep dive of the like AI in comparison to like providers and like diagnosing people and
Yeah.
whatnot. When I was like diving into that, like at first, like it came to my mind thinking about how much people that could help, like people that don't have like access to medical care, like they could just go like somewhere
Yeah.
online in the luxury of their house. But then I also like thought to me as well that like, yeah, we're fixing the problem of like diagnosing people and like prioritizing like, oh, maybe you should go see a doctor and whatnot. But then like
Yeah.
it also makes me think like, what about the subjective matter of things, and like how do you know that, you know what I mean, like that being able to like physically have like numbers to it and whatnot. But I feel like that might
Yeah.
just be it in the like medical field, you know?
Yeah. No, I think it's definitely a little bit farther in medical like that because AI can have these things called hallucinations. So basically, you can like trick AI to think it knows something, and it's literally called hallucinations. So it'll give you a response no matter what. It won't tell you if it doesn't know.
Yeah.
I'm actually reading this book, and it was saying that like there's this thing called prompt engineering, and it's basically just learning the best practices to talk to AI. And
Mm,
if you ask AI a question and it doesn't know, it'll just talk out of its ass, basically. Like
yeah.
it'll just give you
Yeah.
an answer. But if you tell it, give me the answer, but if you are unsure, tell me I don't know, it will say, I don't know. So like
Ah.
it's very like
It's like a
hard.
language.
Yes, yes. You got to know how to
Mm.
talk to it to get the best results. But
Oh my gosh, that's so
again,
scary.
yeah, and I think that's why it would be scary right now in the medical field, like to be take over like the basic care, because like
Yeah.
people self-diagnose. Like I'm not gonna lie, like, I've had some times where I'm like, oh my god, this is all wrong with me. Oh my gosh, So like, if you're talking to AI and you just tell it all your symptoms, like I'm sure people could go way off the edge. Not like
Yeah.
that, but like you know what I mean, like down the wrong direction.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't ask the questions the
Yeah,
way that
or it,
you.
yeah, because it
Mm.
yes, you can filter it to an extent, but like sometimes it bypasses what it's taught.
Yeah. So would you say then that it's probably more beneficial for like a young person who might like better understand like, how to use technology like currently versus like older populations and whatnot?
Do I think it's better suited for young people?
Yeah. Yeah. Like could you see it being like more beneficial or like more like work more for younger people compared to.
Yeah, I think both. I think that it might be beneficial for young people who are very curious
Mm.
because that's kind of the most I've used AI is like business ideas or like how do I
Yeah.
do this or like, give me ideas about that. Um that's a hard question.
Yeah.
Like I don't know who it's targeted at, but I know everyone's hyped about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I have like, I don't use it as much as I think you do. But I do find myself using it in certain like circumstances, like well, Chat GPT, what I'm referring to. But
Yeah.
um I do use it like to help me frame essays a lot,
Yeah.
or I do use it to like break, which I think you taught me this, but like taking like a chunk out of like a statement and like explaining it to me, because sometimes like in the field I am, people are
Yeah.
sending me random emails,
Mhm.
passages, protocols, and I'm like, I have no clue what this person just said. So I use it a lot for
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Um,
I think that was actually one of the first real reasons for AI was summarization. So AI was so good
ah,
at reading big blocks of text and summarizing it for people. So
yeah,
that was kind of like the first kind of wave of people of what they were trying to accomplish.
yeah, yeah. Interesting. Well, that's funny too, because like I think I don't actually know if I talked about this on the podcast. I feel like I did, but when I used to teach undergrads, I used to teach a outfit class, which at UNC is basically like a gym class, right? Where you are doing physical activity of sorts. And there was a component of it that like there was a writing component. So like they would do like one assignment a week, and it would be like make a workout plan, or like how would you deal like with stress using physical activity, da 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 da. And like my students would use Chat GPT to answer those kinds of questions. And I'm like, guys, like, come on now. Like you like that's so sad that you don't you don't have like the thoughts to bring that out. But I'm just a
But
teacher.
to play devil's advocate in that, I think that that's one of the great wonders of AI. Like, like that's right. Those kind of assignments were right up AI's alley. You know, like
Yeah.
what I encourage people to use AI for is those kind of things. Unfortunately, like I think that it does a good job of taking away the tedious things. Like, why would you spend so much time making your plan if you could be out there helping people? You know, like, yes, for the
Yeah.
assignment,
Yeah.
it makes sense that they should think about that. But when you're in your job, like, well, you know, spending less time on the tedious things that AI can learn and do
Yeah.
for you so that you can focus on other things, I think that's kind of
Yeah.
one of the benefits of AI and helps optimize people's workflow.
Yeah, I could see it. I think it definitely like pulls out the ideas that you might not necessarily think of like off the bat, or like
Yeah.
drawing from like a lot of the times I feel like in tests, they always tell you that the answer is in the question and
Yeah.
whatnot. So like, I feel like they gather
Yeah.
a lot of like background information based off of the questions being asked so they can draw those correlations, because a lot of times it was like correlation, like,
Hmm.
kind of things like, and also a lot of self reflections. Like, come on, y'all. Like, we're asking you to do a like pre fitness test and a post fitness test, and then you're asking Chat GPT to compare your scores. Like,
How cool is that?
but yeah, no, and I feel like that was the first like direct, like not like me using it, but like the effects of like other people using it.
Well, that was when it first came out.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah,
It's
because that
only
was
been
just
around for a year, like
yeah, okay, yeah. But now it's kind of crazy because like I think about it now and I'm like, dang, like now they had to change the like syllabi to like reflect that like Chat
yeah.
GPT and bring attention to it. So it's kind of
Yeah.
interesting to see how it takes toll in like an academic place versus like a workspace. It's so innovative for like a workspace with figuring out these new ideas, but like how
Yeah.
can it hinder the thoughts of the learning?
Yeah. I think also one thing with learning, because I was in school too, and so I guess it's been around for almost 2 years now. It's coming up on 2 years. But I think the best thing with AI is that you can conversate with it. So being able to like just post a prompt in, it'll give you a basic answer, but like I think students should be encouraged to communicate with chat or with AI so that they can get more ideas, like more out of it, because like not all of it is wrong. Like a lot of it is factual, and
Yeah.
if they're able to go like if they like an idea, like go find a reference, like because 100% of the time, like I said, the answers that it's giving you is based off of what's on the internet.
Ah,
So
yeah.
like you can fact check it if you really wanted. um Actually, when I was in school, I learned that Copilot, which is Microsoft's AI chatbot,
Yeah.
it actually gives you the reference, like where it's the sites that it's getting it from. So I would use Chat GPT to give me an outline, and then I would go to Copilot to actually like research deeper, because it would actually give me links to pages that I could click on as to where it's getting its
Oh,
information from.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, I also was on a Zoom call the other day, which I didn't realize that they now have an AI like feature in there that can like like what's it called, transcribe all of the
Yeah.
words that are being said in your meeting. And I'm like,
Yeah.
they can
It's
hear us
great.
now. Now they can hear
Right.
us. So yeah, and then the guy sent us the document of like what it pulled out
Summary.
for like the meeting notes, which is really interesting. I was like, whoa, this is cool.
Yeah. And the key points, that's my favorite.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, this is perfect," because, like, I was not keeping up. It was 5:30, 5:36
Well, it
PM.
well, the nice thing too is with Microsoft Teams, like the first thing I did this morning, because I was out all last week, I was like, I've been out all of last week from this date to this date. Can you give me a summarization of all the conversations that were going on in this chat? And then it gave me everything that I had missed last week. So I didn't even have to read through Teams. I just got myself a little summary and
Mm, that's cool. There was
yeah.
something I was gonna say. I can't remember. Ah, brain fart. Um, no, that's scary though. I still think it's kind of scary. Like I'm not like it sounds cool and all, but like it also sounds kind of scary. But yeah, I remember. So when Amber first got into her whole chat GPT thing, like we were talking to it. I'm pretty sure it might have been about podcast stuff. And Amber was like, no, not that one. And it's like, how do you like this one? And Amber's like, don't like it. Next one, please. And she's like talking to it. I'm like, girl, like, don't be talking to it like it's a human.
Don't talk to your best friend.
Yeah. And Amber calls it Chatty, first of all. She has a name for her chat GPT. So Amber's biggest fan.
Right.
No, that's funny.
That is funny. No, I also, one thing about AI is you can actually train the way that it like talks to you. Like if you tell it that you're speaking positively, and then like it'll give you a answer that's positive. And then you can also tell it, like you can talk to it sarcastically and like say like, oh, I'm being sarcastic, and it'll like talk to you back sarcastically. So emotions is one thing it doesn't really do good at because it's
But
learning from
once
you.
it does,
I don't think it'll get that.
watch
Again, like
watch
it only
Subservience and then come back to me with that.
true. But I mean, that's only just online, like robots is a whole, like that's, and you got to get into mechanical engineering for that. And, like AI is just
The
a computer
mind.
or machine's ability to learn. So it's like, you got to build a machine. So if no
Yeah.
one's out there building robots, wait, it's already built. No, you're right. You're right. Like those are things to, and I guess that's why it's such a big controversy too. Like, even with government, like they're still trying to make laws around AI and stuff like that because
Yeah. Can't keep
it's
up with how
yeah,
fast it's progressing, which is also cool though, because I think like in the mix of AI, there has been a lot of like cool things like in the STEM world, and specifically
yes,
the science world, that have been happening. And like it's also cool to see it take place in a lot younger populations, and as well
yeah,
as like minority populations as well, and seeing like the different things that are being discovered and whatnot. So it's always cool to kind of see that intertwined with AI, and
yeah,
how like what's coming of the world. And I think that again it's just like that is just a fascinating part of science.
mhm,
And I think obviously coming from the science background,
yeah,
it's always interesting to see how that might look like in a different field. And you
for sure,
again, like how it all can intertwine one day. Like people make collaborations all the time, and now you're seeing these like
true,
new fields of different fields. Like literally
yeah,
there's a job now for like probably, if not everything, almost.
mhm. Yeah, I could totally imagine in the future, like you use the AI to intake your patients, and then your AI explains to you what's going, like, you know what I mean? Like kind of like a nurse's job, like, or whatever,
Yeah,
whoever intakes people.
exactly. But then that's also like what happens to jobs, and like how far does that go? So obviously there's the who
Yeah.
knows.
Well, the thing to think about too is like, well, at least the way I see it in technology is like, yes, AI is taking over people's jobs. Like that's for sure. Like there's
Yeah,
no doubt about that. But those jobs that they're taking over are the lower paying jobs, the jobs that like
nobody
are
wants to
obviously
do.
that nobody wants. Yeah.
Yeah,
But that leaves those people opportunity because someone has to train AI. And once you train AI, like more and you can move up. Like,
yeah,
it like again, it takes away the tedious things. And like I get it. There are maybe some people do love those jobs, but it gives you the opportunity to learn about something that's higher up than what AI is doing because AI is still just calculating, like
yeah.
it's a lot of learning and calculating and regurgitating whatever it thinks the answer is. So, I mean, it's not out there talking to people, and like
Yeah,
I don't
like
know,
the
it still leaves
interacting thing is just,
yeah.
yeah, that's still
I
gonna always be needed. And I think it's just like as humans is that personal interconnection, like connection between the two. But yeah,
yes.
it leaves a lot of room for that person to get rid of the hard
Yeah.
labor.
Yep. I also seen that AI was being used for counseling, like therapists
Oh,
stuff, which I could see it being useful in that sense because like people are moving to like what is it, BetterHelp and like websites like that online where you can get
Yeah.
therapy online. But using it for counseling, and I could see it being good in that realm because again, you can teach it. I mean, yes, I don't know. Maybe I'm just I have a bad perception of therapists, but like I feel like how they respond is very taught to them, right? It should be like it
Yeah.
shouldn't be their own bias and opinion and stuff. So like if
Yeah.
you can teach a chatbot how to be a therapist, like
Yeah. And I think it could also cover for like a lot of the people who don't want to go to therapy because they
yeah,
don't like the concept of like telling a stranger, their problems and whatnot.
yeah,
It kind of takes away that kind of barrier between that for some people. Not for all people, but I feel like at least for a good bit of people that, might need it but don't take those
yeah,
extra steps because of those reasons.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things to work out with AI, that's for sure. But I think it could be useful if people use it in the right way.
Yeah.
Um, so one thing that I thought was really cool. So when I was in my little AI phase again, the first thing that I was thinking about was how AI could help with native languages and bring it back.
Oh.
So when I was learning more about AI, I was thinking like, so some native languages, we're losing it, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of native languages also aren't written down.
Yeah.
So what AI could do is we could teach it a couple phrases. So like even if there's a language that there's very few words left, we
Hmm.
teach AI what those words are. It breaks it up into phonetics because it learns that on its own if you ingest so much data into it.
Yeah.
Where they like, oh, their language, this particular part of this phonetic means this. So then it could like make your dictionary for you in a sense. You know what I mean? So it could work backwards. You give it a couple words, it learns each piece of the word, what it means,
Wow.
and then it'll give you back your own alphabet or
Yeah.
dictionary. And so I thought I was all smart in this area, right? I was like so excited about it.
Yeah.
I have a friend and he told me that there was a guy who owns his own AI business
Uh-huh.
and he also had that idea. He was like, because my friend is native, and he was like, you guys could use AI to learn your language. So it's like people know these things are possible.
Yeah.
But
Dang. That's
yeah.
crazy. That's
So
crazy.
like there are some I could see some things it could be useful for in
Yeah.
native populations and like underserved. The guy that I met with that startup, he had told me that his first startup was actually aimed toward underserved communities. I
Mhm.
didn't really get too much detail because we were at a bar, but like I would really be interested to know like what his first startup was that
Yeah. Like
yeah.
what initially led to that kind of problem. But I think that's also cool in that again, talking to our listeners, but if you do have an interest in tech and you are, someone who is from my minority background, I think, there's always space for you to learn and bring your ideas to the table. Like, again, like there's a lot of things out there.
Yeah. And they're like I think that's the hardest part about me being in technology as an indigenous person is like I want to find people like me, you know?
Yeah.
Like I can try to create something on my own, but it would be so much better to have like someone with me or other people's ideas and input.
Yeah.
I always think of when we were mentoring. So me and Nevaeh, we were mentors for high school students, Native American high school students who lived in dormitories off of the reservation. And so we had our little mentees. And one day we were talking about like tech ideas and the one of my mentees told me that her idea was to make basically Amazon, Uber available for native communities. So there are so many people who travel obviously to town, but not everybody can, like especially elders and stuff like that in more rural areas. So
Mhm.
what if they could place an order, these people pick it up before they head back toward their reservation, toward wherever they live, just like Uber Eats or like Amazon.
Yeah.
And then they go and drop it off on the way home. They make their little bit of money from it, but they're also helping our community
Yeah.
be able to get the resources that they need for those who are unable to get to town.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a great idea.
I agree. I think that if this was, what is it called? Shark.
Shark Tank.
Yeah. If I have $1 billion, I'd invest. But no, that's a good idea. And I think, like that that is a big issue, and I think I even see it just like in my Facebook where people are like, need something from town, like who's willing to
Yeah.
bring it in.
Yeah.
And I agree, and job opportunities
Yeah.
that it could provide, and all that good stuff. So again, if you like
Yeah.
tech, go into tech.
Go into tech. Yeah. Hit me up. We can conversate.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool though. I think I remember you telling me, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And just like to know that was coming from a high schooler.
Hmm.
Especially those who are involved out there, I'm sure they have a lot of ideas as well into how they can help their community.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That was also a cool part of the convention was I'm not sure if you heard in the last episode, but there was a Indigenous in technology fireside chat that went on at the convention. And I was able to meet the president of the Indigenous BRG, so Business Resource Group or Employee Resource Group of AWS. And she was from Arizona. I believe she was Navajo, but we had a conversation. She's more in data analytics, so she's
Oh,
actually
okay.
more like on that where that AI data side. But
Yeah.
we had a good conversation, and that I've actually never really met any other people like Indigenous in
Yeah.
tech like that.
Was
So
it
that
what
was
was a good show out? Like, was there a lot of people there?
Indigenous people.
Yeah.
There wasn't that many, but when I was talking to her at her booth, I did notice this one younger dude. He came up and he got some stickers and he didn't say much, but I could definitely tell he was native. Like he looked young, like,
Yeah.
and there were some students there, so maybe he was a student, but he like came up and he's like, "Hi," he's like, "Can I have a sticker?" And that was all he said. And she's like, "Go ahead," and he like grabbed the sticker and walked away. I was like, "Oh, like I'm
That's
pretty sure he was
cool. That's
native."
cool. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm glad you had fun. That's cool.
Um. Yeah, but that was pretty much how it went. Um. A lot of new stuff going on.
Oh yeah.
Lot-
Yeah. Again, exciting to see all as much as I tease about like how scared I am.
No way.
I think it's pretty cool. If it can make my job easier, I wouldn't mind it. But also
Well,
like Megan Fox, stay in that movie.
well, here's some good ideas that I use AI for, right, in my life. Work, I use it for emails. Like I use it to create emails for me and um I tell it what I want it to, because like I'm not the most professional speaking when it
Yeah.
comes. It's hard to write an email. Like,
Oh
let me just
yeah.
tell you that.
Yeah.
So like sometimes I'll be like, hey, this is what I want to do. I'll even write in my first draft of my own. And I was like, can you make it like more organized? And then it'll bullet point it, number it, make sure that it gets my points across. That's
Yeah.
one good reason. One way I use AI, but also when I'm receiving emails, I'm like, okay, this email here, what is she saying? What do I need to respond? Or like, what questions is she asking? What are the key takeaways? I use it like
Ah.
that. I also use it for, let's see, work related. When I have a question in technology, like sometimes I don't know how to do something. I'm like, hey, how do you do this in the command line? And that may not make any sense to you, but to me, it's like I'm basically asking AI, what is the right input to get an output? And
Yeah.
it'll give me that. You can actually use AI for code. So AI actually does a really good job at writing code. Obviously, you should always check the code because, again, it's a learned thing. So in the
Yeah.
beginning, before AI was super smarter, it will give you some wrong things. But I mean, if you know how to read code, you should at least know how to read code because you can read
You
to
need
make
to have
sure.
experience before you go
Yeah,
searching codes.
yeah. So I use that. I use it for troubleshooting. So if I don't know something, I'll ask it and try to work my way through that way.
Dang.
Um, for school, like I told you kind of how I used it there for outlines and then just getting more information.
Yeah.
I use it for business ideas in my own personal life. So it's really good at giving me ideas for the podcast. It's good at giving me
Yeah.
ideas for like one day I want to open my own business. Like I tell it what I'm thinking and it gives me good ideas and then I'm able to elaborate in certain areas. So
Yeah.
and then it's also really good at making business plans. So if you actually have an idea,
Oh.
you can actually say, make me a business plan and it'll spit you out a business plan and you
Yeah.
can always just continue on from that.
Hmm.
Um, I use it for Speeches. It's really good at speeches.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like making
Actually,
the framework of it or like the entire speech?
either or. You can do both. You can ask it for an
Oh.
outline, just got to be specific. No offense, but when for your wedding, I was like asking it for ideas for
You
my speech.
used Chatty for my maid of honor speech?
I did, but I told it about us. Like I taught him like, hey, this is me and my sister.
Oh, okay. So
This,
you talked to Chatty
oh
about
my
me.
god, yes,
Okay, forget.
yes. I told it about kind of our relationship, and then it spit me out a big old like little, and it made it like funny. You could, I said, can you make it a little funny with like sentiment? You know what I mean? Like, so it gave me some really good ideas. I didn't really go word for word from it, but it gave me good ideas, and it
Yeah,
taught me how to phrase it in a way that I would have probably never said it.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
um, what else? I use it for food. I use it for food
Oh
ideas,
yeah, for recipes, right?
recipes. Yeah, even just ideas. I'm like, what's easy to make tonight? And it'll like tell me, you know, whatever
A
it
pizza,
wants.
a
A
frozen
pizza.
pizza.
Yeah. They're also using AI like where you can take a picture of things in your refrigerator and it'll spit you out recipes of
Oh
things you can make with
yeah, I
things you have.
seen that. I seen that. I was like, whoa. There's like nothing in my fridge, but like, I don't, good luck. We're gonna have to make them try extra hard.
Oh my god, that's
We're gonna
funny.
teach them a lot in this photo.
All right.
But also the cool thing is that like I didn't realize that with Chat GPT that I think it might be Chat GPT, but I thought it was only like words and passages. But when you were sending me the photos that AI created, I was like, whoa, that's cool. Like I didn't realize it could make art as
Yeah.
well as like writing things out.
Yeah. So when ChatGPT first came out, it was just words. It's AI generated. It's a like sorry, its image AI was a little bit more expensive, so you had to pay for what they're called. They're called tokens in AI world. So at first, generating AI photos was expensive, so it wasn't like generally available.
Yeah.
But now, of course, technology is always getting better, which means that the cost of technology goes down.
Hmm.
So now they allow certain amount of images per day to be generated. So you're not like going ballistic with getting so
Yeah.
many photos made. But yes, it can do photos.
Dang. Well, I guess that
But
would just kind of be like the same amount as like the big, like whatever Google has. And now you have to
yeah,
do whatever Google Images has.
yep. But
Dang.
the thing with AI images is it's really bad at doing hands. So if you ever really look at
Ah,
hands in AI generated photos, they're like sometimes like seven fingers or like
why?
I don't
Do
know.
we know?
It's just a hard thing for it to learn. Yeah. I'm sure it'll get better, but actually one of those photos I sent you, I don't know if you noticed, but there was microphone sticking out on both sides of the microphone. So it was
No,
like
no, I didn't.
no, you didn't. You all post a photo, you have like seven fingers.
That's hilarious. And yeah, no, that's kind of weird. Like, why?
Yeah, I mean it's just learning off of other images.
That's crazy. I I hope you guys learned just as much as I did. I am focused on this episode today.
Yeah.
Next episode I'm just gonna use this topic as my learned.
What I learned this past week is what we talked about.
Last time.
That's funny. I think the big next wave too will probably be videos with AI. I mean, they're already making them, but they're very kind of boring.
Yeah. Well, I like going back to the photos when people like, these outrageous photos like a celebrity is doing something, and like people are like, that's AI generated.
Oh
Like
yeah. Oh yeah.
that was kind of crazy. I was like, whoa, like it looks pretty good, like it's
Yeah.
pretty convincing.
Well, funny, we were so at work one time we were having a celebration for this program that I was a part of. And at the end of the celebration, this song started playing. And it was like really like a weird song. And I heard my name in it. And I was like, did that just say my name? Like, and talk about me? And apparently someone put all of our names that we were celebrating in there and kind of like a little bit about them. And it made a song about us. And we were like,
Amber,
oh, like,
Amber's like, who's Amber? She sounds
yeah, no,
great.
no. Well, I did. I was like in Amber or something. And I was like, wait, did that just say all of our names? Like we were all kind of tripping out. But music, it can do music. Have you heard
That's
that song
crazy.
that AI made with Justin Bieber and Bad Bunny?
No, I haven't.
That was a banger. You should listen to it.
Interesting. Dang.
Yeah, it was actually funny because I think Bad Bunny, this is TikTok drama, but Bad Bunny was actually upset because that AI song got more plays than the one of the songs that he dropped at the same time. And he
Oh,
wrote something about like it's not human or whatever, whatever. But it was a good song.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Collabs that we don't know of. AI.
right. Not all over there.
I'm
Justin Bieber
DJing it.
with
That's exactly what I would have comboed.
right. All the
That's
people you
crazy.
wanted.
No, that's
It does
actually
do good
pretty
music. It can what so actually funny story again, I'm gonna tell since you're already married, I might as well tell you all my things I was gonna do at your wedding. But I was gonna remix a song at your wedding using AI. So like I told it like, make me a remix song based off of this kind of thing, right?
yeah.
And at first when I said that, it said it couldn't copyright, so I couldn't tell it the specific song.
Yeah.
But what I did was I copied lyrics and then I pasted it in so it didn't know it was a specific song.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Can you change the lyrics to make it more about this?" And then it like changed up the lyrics so it still fit the flow of the song, but it changed it to what I was trying to accomplish with like in a different perspective from the
So
song.
where's the product? We're trying to hear it.
I gotta find it in my chat GBT somewhere.
Ever I'm kind of concerned. Like, do you have friends? Like, you can't just
Oh my
be
god.
teaching and learning from Chatty on the daily. Come on now.
No, it's really useful. One day you'll be using
Hey,
it.
Chatty, good
One day,
morning.
oh, first thing, who are you texting, Patty?
Amber has it like saved in her phone. You probably have the app, don't you?
I do. I have a ChatGPT app, but the whole reason why I got my new iPhone 16 was because of the AI features, and they haven't even came out yet. I'm waiting for that to come out.
What does that mean? Okay, Amber, we can't just like I can't keep up, Amber. I just got into the reminders app. I can't hop onto the next wave.
Apparently, like you're gonna be able to like take photos of things, and AI will tell you what it is, or you can instead of having a whole app for ChatGPT, like there's just gonna be more AI features. But
Okay, I don't know if this is I don't think it's AI, but so updated my phone and like AirPods in tells me
hello, Nevaeh.
no, no, it says Little Sprout sends a picture of big brown
Yeah.
dog and I was like, Carter?
Well, yeah, that's what it does.
I was like,
It
that's
can read your
scary.
image, yeah.
I was shook though. It did a pretty
It
good
does that
job at
when you
describing
send
him.
stuff too.
And what is what was the last thing I said to you?
No, it's funny, like, when mom sends photos because our mother be sending the randomest things, but, like, if I'm at the gym and my Siri's telling me what mom sent, I'm like, "Okay, wait, what is this?"
Yeah,
Then
no,
I'll go work
I
out.
get that. Yeah, and it's like nothing like what you thought it was when you look at it.
I remember one bowl of soup with like, oh my god. That one, for some reason, rings a bell in my mind.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I was shook when it first did that. It was like it sent you an image of da da da. I was like, damn. I don't know if
Well,
I want to open it now.
have you ever used your like Photos app and put in a random word and it gives you the responses for that?
No.
You can like search in there just like green book and then it'll try to find all the green books in all your photos or something like that.
Ah, well, who was it? I think it was you. I don't remember who it was, but like when you okay, I have a lot of dog photo. We are a family of half dogs and half humans.
Like more dogs.
No, it's 50-50 right now.
Oh.
Anyways,
Oh, it
it
is.
is 50-50.
Couple per couple and single with single.
Exactly. No, but so we have a lot of dog photos up in the photos, right? And so I was like going through and like looking at all of the breeds it said, and they're pretty spot on. Like
Yeah.
with the
Oh,
breeds.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
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 I was shook.
Yeah.
I was like, dang. Well, okay, Carter's a golden retriever, so obviously I hope it would know him. But like with
Yeah.
scrums, it was pretty close.
That's crazy. I
Yeah.
forgot it could do that. That was one of the newer features that came out, huh?
Mhm. Yeah. So I'm pretty shook about that. I'm gonna go out to the res now and take a photo of all of the res dogs and try to
Your
see what
dog
they
is. No, also another life hack. If you take, so like we buy a lot of things at Costco, right? And they come in like bulk. And if we're not, we put them in containers. So, for example, oatmeal, we put it into smaller containers, but I don't want to keep the box. I take a picture of like the cooking directions because I always forget the portions, and I save it in my phone, like just take a picture of it, obviously. And then when I'm like gonna make oats, I just search oats in my pictures and it brings up the specific one for my ingredients. So I also do that with jasmine rice, normal rice. Like I take a picture of them. So if I'm going to do it in the future, it comes back.
Dang, you know how much space this is gonna save up in my brain?
Yeah. And I do it with the recipes that you and mom share as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I
So you
take a
just take a
screenshot.
screenshot?
Yeah.
Dang, that's smart. I did not even think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be searching things all night. If you guys see random posts from me tonight, mind your business. I just learned something.
That's funny. Yeah. But yeah, like life hack. That's how I use that.
That's funny, but no, that I think that just goes to show you again how like our fields are like that we work in are like so like here, but also like not, but also like
Yeah.
you know where else everything else could go, in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think biggest takeaway is things are advancing.
Oh yeah,
Medical I think all of it is just technology though, like technology runs everything in the medical
yeah,
field and businesses, and it's a lot and it's becoming very strong.
yeah, yeah. And I think
Yeah.
that also like goes to show too is like, again, back to if anybody wants to be in tech, the opportunities are there.
Yes.
The interest, if they're not there, make them there. But I think, if you're interested in AI, you want to learn more about it, I'm sure there's plenty of resources out there. Go chat with Chatty on your downtimes
Yeah.
and communicate with her. Try it out if you haven't
With
tried
her.
chat.
Are we genderizing ChatGPT?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go try them out. Go try them out if you haven't already. But also, yeah, see if you're in a field, maybe look at the advances that AI is making in that field because
Yeah.
the article that I was reading, like that was just from November, and like every probably like relevant articles like near that same time point. So like these are groundbreaking stuff, things that are happening every day.
Yes.
So if it scares you, keep up with the news because you might want to know, like they'll tell you there before anywhere else the advances. So
Yeah. I think that's a good point is that if you're in college and you're thinking of something to do for a research paper, do it on AI. Like if it's in your field related to AI, I'm pretty sure you can get a lot
oh
of
yeah,
research out of that and a lot of useful things that could come out of learning a little bit more of that.
yeah, that's true, that's very true.
Yeah.
Well, that is it for tonight. If you want to check in with us and see when these episodes drop, if you haven't already, follow our Instagram, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, so you can be notified when we post a episode. But again, we always enjoy having a conversation with you all, and we hope you have a good day, weekend,
Yes.
whatever day it is.
And like the video if you thought it was interesting
Oh, and
and
comments. We again love to learn from other people and want to hear your takes on AI, if it's scary, if it's not. I'm
yeah.
leaning
If you
towards
use it
scary.
already,
If
like
you
what
use
are your
it,
tips? Like what are your likes
yeah.
with AI?
Do you chat with Chatty? Awesome. Well, thank you all.
Yeah, thanks for listening to the Growin Up Podcast, and we will catch you next week.
Bye.
Bye.